The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
Teflon Pan Man. I'm the Teflon Pan Man. Ain't nothing gonna stick on me.
Hey everyone, and welcome to All You Can Eat. It's the podcast about deliciousness. You're listening to episode number 109, and I am the host of the show, Rob Rosenthal. Super glad to be with you today, mid-June of the year 2021. And things are beginning to get back to some sense of normalcy. We're beginning to go out and dine again. People are getting on airplanes and traveling. And so today's show is going to be about recommendations. And specifically, I want to give it a kind of a Mexican theme, if you will, for a couple of reasons. One is because I want to talk to you about a place that I have been on more than one occasions, gladly, happily, voluntarily, because it's fabulous, it's gorgeous, it's delicious, it's wonderful. It's a place in Mexico called Punta. I'm going to come back to you and tell you more about Punta in a minute, and even have a conversation with Carl Emberson, who is the general manager of Punta. Before I do that, I want to tell you about kind of a new platform that I have recently discovered, and it works out very well for someone like me to do what I do, which is to provide recommendations based on my experience and my expertise. The new platform is called Racket. I think you can find it at racket.com, just as you would expect, RACKET.com. Racket essentially is an audio platform where people can essentially, I don't mean to be saying that many times, but upload short-form audio content. By short form, I mean max 9 minutes, but I use my Rackets to make recommendations, mostly about things that are delicious. But sometimes I venture outside of that. I mean, I've recommended so far an air fryer, which I think is a wonderful tool to have in the kitchen. I've even recommended a $50 shiatsu massage machine, which I know some people have gone out and purchased. And I will just note here that I take the recommendation business very seriously. I will only recommend those things that I truly believe in. And in the interest of full disclosure, we'll let you know if there's any reason that I have some motivation beyond just that I love it. For example, I have a new website, realrobrosenthal.com. And on the website, I actually feature a whole page worth of my recommendations. Some of those are attached to Amazon links, and sometimes I guess those Amazon links get me some infinitesimal commission. I don't believe that changes the price to the consumer. But I'm just letting you know in the mode of full disclosure that if you click on a link on realrobrosenthal.com and it takes you to Amazon, I guess there's some type of small affiliate commission that I get. And believe me, unless you got a million friends, I am not going anywhere with that money. Anyway, racket.com. So I use a Racket, where I'm also, by the way, Real Rob Rosenthal. I use it to make recommendations. I'm going to push a button now and give you an example of what my Rackets, my audio posts sound like. It's about 2.5 minutes long. And, you know, when I do these things live, I don't do any post-production, really. So I'm going to push a button and hope for the best. But anyone who knows me knows that it's very rare that there's not some technical glitch in the software here. But anyway, I'm going to push a button and have you listen to a Racket, and then I'll come back right after that.
Hi, I'm Rob Rosenthal, and I recommend. I'm a guy who cooks a lot, all the time, actually. And I like to eat a lot. Well, like all the time. One of the many things I like to eat are tortilla chips and salsa. Compulsively, I mean. If there was a 12-step program for chips and salsa, hello, my name is Rob. Now, I know not everyone cooks that often, but as a cookbook author, there are two things that I've always encouraged people to make on their own rather than buy. One is tomato sauce. The other is vinaigrette, as in salad dressing. Why? Because they're easy to do and will always be better than what you can buy from a jar in the store. Back to the chips and salsa. In all my years of eating, I've never found a bottled salsa that I like. My feeling was that I had to make my own, but that generally requires more time and more effort and better tomatoes than are usually available. And then I discovered Mateo's gourmet salsa. And I've got to say, yowza, finally. Thank you, Mateo's. This stuff is great. As it says on their label, not responsible for obsession, but I am obsessed. No noise or nonsense added, only quality natural ingredients. The stuff is just tasty, delicious. And although I don't see it specifically on the ingredient list, I taste a good hit of cumin in this thing, which really magnifies its Mexican taste profile. It comes in mild, medium, or hot. They sell it in Costco, Publix, Sprouts, Walmart. Just hit up their site to see where you can get it by you. It's mateossalsa.com, which is Mateos, salsa.com. You want to make your own salsa or pico de gallo? Go for it. You want ready-made deliciousness, and I mean really good stuff without the effort? Mateo's got it going on. Now, to like this, go ahead and hover over that heart on your lower right-hand corner. Share it with the link in the upper right. Follow me here on Racket, and feel free to message me with comments. Until next time, I'm Rob Rosenthal, and I recommend.
Well, okay, shockingly, there were no technical problems. I do believe that you heard that. That's one of the, dozen or so rackets, they call them, that I've made so far. In that case, obviously recommending a salsa that I discovered. If you want to tune into any of the recommendations, simply go to racket.com, look for me at Real Rob Rosenthal. Real Rob Rosenthal, that's me. And there you go. Now, I chose that particular recommendation because I want to now tell you about this resort in Mexico, in the state of Nayarit. Mexico, I believe, has 31 states. One of them is Nayarit. It's on the west coast. I would say, I know that you're going to hear in my conversation with Carl Emberson, the GM, two things that I want to correct right now, even before you hear it. I had said it was like 110 miles of Pacific Ocean coastline. It's closer to 180 miles of Pacific coastline there in the state of Nayarit. And within the state of Nayarit is a resort area of approximately 1,500 acres, and it's called Punta. And so it's a private resort area, and in the interest, as I said to you before, of full disclosure, I actually was invited there. Invited there as a journalist to, see what's what. Now, that said, I'm under no obligation one way or the other. I've actually been back, and I went back in spite of the fact that I'm a variety junkie. I would always prefer to do something new rather than repeat. But I've been lucky in my life in a lot of ways, not the least of which is after spending 25 years in the international travel business and then getting into the whole beat of travel writing. I've been a lot of places. I'm not just talking about, 3 million frequent flyer miles. A lot of people have that. I'm just saying I've been to some of the greatest places in the world. I mean, on 6 continents, and I'm talking about high-end resorts. And Punta is a high-end resort. I don't want to kid you right here. This is luxury, and it's private, and it's gated. And again, though, it's you get what you pay for. If you happen to have the wherewithal, this is a place that's just wonderful. In fact, if I had to choose some place to go in Mexico, I would go to Punta. Now, I'm going to tell you why. As I told you, it is luxurious, and it's in a beautiful part of Mexico, which means that you have incredible beaches. The food is sensational. the weather is it's unbelievable. I mean, people have a tendency to overuse the word, but when I say unbelievable, I mean it's glorious pretty much year round. Like 80 degrees. Punta itself is super safe. It's private resort on a compound. It's landscaped. It's lush. It's on a peninsula, so they've kind of got a great place for it. That peninsula is encircled by the ocean. You have a couple of hotels on the grounds right now. Anybody who knows anything about hotels will know that when I tell you that one of them is the Four Seasons and the other is the St. Regis, you understand already the level that we're talking about here. So the amenities are excellent. The service is unbelievably, I hate using it, but the service is sensational. And everything is kind of included in your bill, so you don't have to be worried about tipping all the time. These are two elegant, award-winning resorts. They're situated right on the beach. They'll give you gourmet dining. They have full-service spas, multiple swimming pools, comfortable guest rooms. The sunsets are beautiful every single day. And I think what's important in this case is that the grounds are expansive enough so that you never really feel that you're on top of anybody else. And in fact, sometimes people, just call up the lobby and say, hey, send over one of those golf carts because I'm going to dinner, whatever, half mile away. So people use even the golf carts to get around the grounds. There's that much space. I love that there's something for everyone to do. So you have a full range of water sports. We're talking about you can go windsurfing, you can go sea kayaking, you can do scuba snorkeling, sailing. I went fishing with this local crew. Don't consider I've been fishing a half a dozen times in my life. I'm no fisherman. This was unbelievable. Oh, I apologize. I hate to use the word because I've already have, but I was blown away by the fishing there. I mean, within minutes of the time that my line hit the water, I was pulling up not only fish nonstop, but I mean enormous, just giant fish. And at the end of 4 hours of fishing, I think they grabbed one of the beautiful white fish, like a snapper, wachinango, I believe it was, and they made ceviche right on board. And then we brought back some of the catch to the chef at the hotel and prepared it there. And man, it's glorious, just beautiful. When I say something for everyone to do, I mean, if you play tennis, there's a tennis academy. I just learned from Cole, which you'll hear momentarily, that they put in pickleball courts. There's 2 Jack Nicklaus designed golf courses, so if you do that kind of thing, if you're a golf person, you go. These are these are incredible, beautiful golf courses, and so you got that too. There's a lot for everybody to do. Or again, I think another aspect of this place that I appreciated so much is you can do nothing and feel pretty good about that. You're laying on a hammock, you're underneath a shady tree, you have your headphones on, there's a book in your hand, you're sipping on a perfectly prepared margarita, and the warm sun is shining and the breeze is coming in off the ocean. I mean, that's what vacations are for. And so, the place has a laid-back vibe, and if that's not laid back enough for you, you pop into the spa there and get yourself a full-body massage by a professional massage staff. The scenery is glorious. The landscaping here is beautiful. The beaches are white sand. Some of the, if not all of the pools are infinity. They're blue skies. I would say because it's on the same latitude as the Hawaiian Islands, the climate is perfect. Generally, it's 77 degrees Fahrenheit 90% of the year with bright, sunshine. I was, even in March, the temperature's in the mid-70s. There's not a cloud in the sky. And when you're going on a vacation, that matters. The food is phenomenal. I asked Cole because I have a mental block with it, but it's actually chilaquiles, one of my most favorite breakfast dishes ever of all time. There are these tortillas that are hot and warm and crispy. Salsa goes on top, either red or green, maybe some refried beans. There's some cheese and an egg as you like it. They're called chilaquiles. I would basically have them every day. ceviche, grilled local fish, roast duck, short ribs in a Mexican mole sauce, the best guacamole I've ever had. The food is delicioso, baby, and there's plenty to choose from. I think both of the resorts have dining rooms, so you can do the Mexican, you can have a steak, you can have seafood, you can go Asian flavors, whatever it is that you want. The staff at the Four Seasons told me that they had a cultural concierge, and I was like, what's that? Well, they do things that are different. I said, like what? Well, we do a class on tequila. Like, do you know the difference between a Blanco and a Reposado and an Añejo? Because you will, and then you're going to taste them, and then you leave the class with a custom bottle of your own tequila blended to your specifications. Just fabulous, fantastic, great fun. You know, as a variety junkie, I will confess that I want to be able also to get off the grounds and go see what else is going on. Here's the good news. You're within about a half hour or less of some really cool places to give you a taste of local life. Anybody who knows that part of Mexico has probably heard of Sayulita, which is a funky little town, very popular among the surfer set, shops, galleries, eateries. And I think even closer is a place called San Francisco, or I think the locals call it San Pancho. Excellent, charming town. You can go into a boutique. You can have food. You can go shopping. And if you see a guy rolling a wheelbarrow down the street selling tamales, get one. One of the things I did that, if you're a cook person, as I am, one of the things I did that was super fun was I went to one of the local markets where the fish were coming in off the boat. And you get to pick the fish that you want. And I went over there with the chef. And then you go back after shopping with the chef for your fish, and you together with the chef prepare in the hotel kitchen. You step by step prepare a Mexican meal, And this is this is a singular experience, as they say. It's priceless. And who do you like? Who's it for? I mean, other than in other words, do you go with the family, or do you go with do you go with a partner? Or do you go with friends? And I don't want to cop out here, but the answer is you can play this thing any way that you want to. I know that people would go there to, as a destination wedding place. I know that it's great for the family because they understand how to do that. And I know that you can go there if you just want to be romantic with one other person, because they but they're smart about the way they manage this. There's like an adults only pool. Right, and then so if you don't want to hear the kids at the pool, you can do it that way. And yet they also have one of those floating lazy rivers around the Four Seasons, around the Four Seasons that the kids love. So you can play this thing as a family, fantastic that way. You can go as a couple, or you can go with a group of friends. Like especially if you want to go, fishing, play golf, tennis, whatever. I think it's. That's part of the thing that makes it great. It is adaptable, customizable to whatever you're most interested in. And then finally, getting there is not too complicated. It's about 25 miles north of the Puerto Vallarta airport. So with no traffic, you're talking about 45 minutes to the hotel from the airport. Sometime a year, like in the heavy season, I'm sure, when it gets to be winter on the East Coast, they'll get you on nonstops. But for the most of the year, you could fly through basically Dallas, or there's probably direct flights from the West Coast, because a lot of people head down there from the West Coast because it's on the West Coast of Mexico. Anyway, that's Punta Mita, and further to that, Carl Emberson, who runs the operation, was here in New York this week, and if all the buttons are working, I had a short conversation with Carl about what's going on there now. Now that people are, getting back to travel. Let's see if that works.
So there's a place that
I will tell you in advance of this, since it will obviously work, that I recorded it on the streets of New York City. So, I would expect to hear a siren, but at minimum, there's some trucks passing by. Here's my conversation with Carl.
I love and I recommend, and it's called Punta Mita in Mexico on the West Coast. And I'm standing here right now with its general manager. His name is Carl Emberson. Hey, Carl, how are you?
Good to see you, Rob. Good to catch up again. It's been a while, and nice to be back in New York City. Just had a great lunch together and talk a little bit about Mexico.
And you know that I'm glad to. I want you to be able to tell people. I mean, I certainly can, but you're the guy. Why do I love Punta Mita so much? Explain to people what it is. Then I can kind of chime in with what I love about it.
I think it's one of those few places in the world that you find a space. It's beauty, it's nature. The weather's perfect most of the year. The 2 great golf courses, 2 beautiful hotels, great fishing, food. All those passion points that make me a happy man is what I find in Punta Mita. And I live there. I've been living there for 10 years, Rob, and it's got the Mexican warmth, the Mexican hospitality. I can't find a better place in the world.
Yeah, and I guess that really does kind of cover it for me. You have incredible weather. I remember being there because I've been there more than one time. It's like every day was like, I don't know, 79, 80 degrees, blue sky. You're on the water. Fantastic. The fishing was amazing. The food was incredible. You have both the Four Seasons and the St. Regis, so people have that choice. I went out fishing. It was the best fishing I've ever done in my whole life. The fish were prepared right there by the chef. You said golf, fantastic, but I mean, there's 1,000 other things to do, including a lovely massage. And I'll never forget my class in mezcal tasting. I love Punta Mita. I think more people should get there and more often. What else should people know about it? Like, how do you get there? Where is it? What should we know?
You fly down to Puerto Vallarta International Airport. You can connect from most cities or go direct from many cities in the U.S. And it's just a 40-minute car ride from Puerto Vallarta International Airport to Punta Mita. Make your choice. Rent a luxury villa, stay at the Four Seasons, stay at the St. Regis, enjoy the food, the wine, the Mexican hospitality, and it's great all times of the year. Really, it's a spot that's going from strength to strength in these days that we live in now. It's low density, it's secure, it's got its own hospital, and it's just sunsets every day, and it's a beautiful place to be.
Yeah, I can't stress it enough. As you know, that as much as I love kind of variety and exploring new places, that's a place that I'm always happy to go. Puerto Vallarta, it's a quick hour over to the, I think it's, what do you got, like 1,500 acres of private area?
Yeah, 1,500 acres, yeah.
And again, the hotels, the food. Well, what do you call that that breakfast that I am in love with, where they put the chips with the eggs and the salsa?
Enchiladas.
The other one is
huevos rancheros.
No, the other one where I have a mental block with the name. You got the tortilla chips. You got the salsa, could be red or green. There's that fried egg. There's some cheese. My favorite. Anyway.
Enchiladas. Well, anyway, yeah, maybe not enchiladas, but it's delicious. The food is great.
The food
Mexican food, and there's a bit of everything down there. You've got Mexican, you've got Asian, you've got a bit of Italian, but most principally it's that Mexican coastal cuisine. In a variety of different beach clubs and restaurants. It's fantastic.
I know a lot of people that are into golf go for the golf because I think it's like Jack Nicklaus. Is it Jack Nicklaus?
Yeah, we got 2 Jack Nicklaus signature courses there. The famous Tail of the Whale. I'm a keen golfer. They're 2 world-class great resorts.
And people also go for tennis because you have.
Yeah, we have a tennis academy, PBI Tennis Academy. Then there's pickleball, which is a huge lately in the last few years.
Wow. Did you set up pickleball courts?
Yeah, we did. We put in 4 pickleball courts because it's amazing the amount of people that are playing pickleball today.
I played yesterday.
Oh, good on you. It's a great game, isn't it?
Oh, my God, I love that game.
Yeah.
I love that game a lot. And what about, though, tell people about this. Like, is it good for, I mean, do you come as like a couple? Do you come as a family? Who goes?
I think I'd consider Punta Mita a family spot, right. And a group of friends where you can, be in a home. It's got things for everybody. It's got, it's like just to be healthy and out in the outdoors on the beach, sailing, stand-up paddle, surfing. Surfing's another point we didn't talk about. We just opened a new surf club in Punta Mita, which is fantastic.
Sweet.
With a great, it's another great market of the surfers in the world. So there's basically everything there that you need.
I also love the whole excursion part of it. I love being on the boat going fishing. But even when we got in a car and drove to some of the local towns, I mean, that was some...
Right, you got Sayulita, San Pancho,
right.
Great shopping, great sights, great, a bit of real authentic Mexico, which is nice to have as well, apart from the natural beauty that you can find.
Really one of the most beautiful places in the world, the Mexican state of Nayarit, about 110 miles of Pacific coast. And there, now we're at Puerto Vallarta Airport, is the fabulous Punta Mita and all the things you can do there. I love the heck out of it. I will look forward to coming back again one day. Any final thoughts for our people that are listening in, Cole?
Always great to talk to you, Rob, and all of you out there. Come and visit us anytime. Mexico at its very best, Punta Mita.
And what's the, is there a site? Is it a Punta Mita?
www.puntamita.com, and you'll find everything you need to know. We have our own rental company, hotel reservations, you name it. It's a world-class destination.
Yes, it is. I'm all for that. Rob Rosenthal here recommending Punta Mita, puntamita.com.
Well, unbelievable so far. I probably shouldn't jinx myself, but that worked. And chilaquiles is that breakfast, and that coastline's about 180 miles in the state of Nayarit, obviously not around the resort. The resort, I think, is like 8 or 9 miles around. But man, it's great over there. And I just want to be clear about something. I get nothing. I other than the satisfaction of recommending those things that I believe in, and being taken up by someone else who gets the same pleasure out of it that I did. Go, don't go. I'm just here to let you know that it's easy to access and it's great to be there in so many ways. So thank you, Carl. Punta Mita, excellent. Now, let's just recap tonight's show. Racket.com is a brand new and growing platform. Everybody uses it for their own short form audio mini podcasts. Check it out if you like. You are listening to All You Can Eat. That is the podcast about deliciousness. I'm Rob Rosenthal, your host. This is episode 109. I will remind you that our episodes run live on Wednesday evenings, so you can actually hear them from anywhere in the world. Internet radio, it's a beautiful thing. And then soon thereafter, All You Can Eat shows up on the biggest podcast platforms in the world. So we're on Spotify. Just look up All You Can Eat. We're on iHeartRadio. Look up All You Can Eat or Rob Rosenthal. We're on Spreaker. All You Can Eat. So you can find me there week in, week out, discussing delicious food and places to go and other related kind of recommendations. Now, with that said, 2 more notes. One is that Father's Day is coming up. It is less than 2 weeks away. And if you want to do something for a father or for somebody that you know who's a father or an uncle or whoever who has expressed some interest in the kitchen, maybe making more food more often, maybe making the food that they're making more delicious, might I recommend my own book entitled A Short Order Dad, One Guy's Guide to Making Food Fun and Hassle-Free. Because that's my thing. Make it fun and make it hassle-free. And most importantly, make it delicious. In fact, I think what sets the book apart is that I can identify my user-friendly formula in 6 words. Most taste, fewest ingredients, least effort. I mean, that's how I do it. Most taste, fewest ingredients, least effort. I would say of the 100 recipes, I'd say 95 of them use maybe 5-6 ingredients max. And I'm talking about, whether it's an appetizer or a salad or a soup or a main course or a side dish or a dessert, it's all in there. I went to cooking school, so, I try to, I went to cooking school so you don't have to. That's the idea behind the book, is I'll tell you what it is that you need to know. And that includes not just recipes. You can get those anywhere. Not mine, of course. But it means that I tell you, what are the most important tools, there aren't many of them, that you need to have in the kitchen to be prepared? And more importantly, how do you shop for ingredients? And as importantly, what should you keep on hand in your pantry so that you can always turn out something that's great? which is part of how I use Racket, by the way. I'm recommending like spices and condiments and flavors and sauces and different tips and techniques, etc., etc., etc. But the book, Short Order Dead, which you can pick up on Amazon, is great for anybody that wants to improve their game in the kitchen. And I don't mean just fathers. I mean anybody. You know, a college kid that's going away to school and they're going to do some of their own cooking. Bang, bang, get them this book because it's good and it's fun and it's easy. And don't just take it from me. I mean, go ahead and read the reviews online. I'm proud of that. There's, hundreds of reviews online, and I don't know what the final tally is, but it's strong. It's in the upper fours on a scale of 5. Right. So, Short Order Dead. That's the book. And if you want to find me in the social media aside from Racket, I'm also Real Rob Rosenthal on Instagram, where I will periodically mount photos of what it is that I'm eating or cooking. And if you are a Twitter person and you want to find me, you can get me over there on, I'm Short Order Dad on Twitter. God forbid I keep this thing consistent. And if you're a Facebook person, you can look up Short Order Dad on Facebook because I'm sure I'm on there as well. Right, so that seems to be today's show. Punta Mita, Racket.com, Mateo's Mexican Salsa, Short Order Dead, One Guy's Guide to Making Food Fun and Hassle-Free. Have a happy summer, my people. I'll be back to you next week with episode 110 of All You Can Eat. And until next time, remember, life is short, so never waste a meal.
I'm the Teflon Pan Man. I'm the Teflon Pan Man. Ain't nothing gonna stick on.